Hello, my name is Quinton. Today, in this video, we're going to be talking about behind the scenes of ToMoveOn. So this is kind of like a documentary. You guys enjoy. Where do I even start? Let's just start from the beginning. Why I even wrote this song. I'm just gonna be real in this one. This all started the end of November-ish. I'm in college. I'm also an RA, a student senate, also a performing musician, and I make songs to release on every music platform. And I'm just a very busy person. And at the time, I was also in a relationship, so yes, a very busy person, and I like to stay busy. I think that's what's fun in life, is just to be busy, to try new things and all that kind of stuff. This is a breakup song, and I don't really know how to segue into that as I wanted to, but yes, it is a breakup song, and towards the end of November is when I started working on it. Today is January 19th is when I'm starting to record this part of the recording process, and you'll see some clips of me in the past as I've been working on this song. But yes, it is a breakup song.
I've never felt this way before.
I want to record like the recording process of the song that I'm gonna make. And right now, the title is Change is Good. Yeah, I don't really know how depth I want to go into it. About like why I'm writing this song. Maybe I should, because that's the whole point of this. I sound weird because I just got my wisdom teeth pulled out yesterday, so there's a lot of soreness on the right side of my mouth right now, so I have to like adjust talking so it doesn't hurt as much. So this song is my first breakup song that I've ever written. A lot of feelings and a lot of emotions goes towards the song, obviously, because it's a breakup, and I think we ended on good terms. I want to say, yeah, I don't really want to go too much into detail, but yeah, we ended on good terms. It's a bit complicated, even when I'm not a very good singer, but I still want to show just how much I care. So yeah, I'm gonna sing. I guess that's really all the information that you really need to know, and I guess I'm comfortable with sharing because I don't want to talk about it too much. But this is a breakup song. I think we ended on good terms. I'm not gonna be like roasting this one person, because honestly, there's nothing wrong, in my personal opinion. I thought I would write a song about it, and this is kind of exploring the beginning of my relationship with this person and how I'm feeling right now. I'm honestly not sure how I'm feeling right now, and it's been a month and a half later, and I really don't know what to feel about it. That's the song. Right now I have the title Change is Good, and that might change. See what I did there? I kind of recognize this throughout my whole entire life. Whenever I'm sad or down, I just play music, and it makes me so much happier. It's kind of weird because I don't listen to music, but I play music. Because another thing, I'm not really good with lyrics, and you'll probably get that sense when you hear the song. I've just never been really good with words. I think this is a way to get there, get better at it. During the breakup, I was playing a musical called Harmonies, and most of the musical was in 6/8, so that's why this song is probably in 6/8. Even though my friend and I were writing lyrics, and it was very hard to sing in 6/8 because it's just like yes, you have your two big pulses, right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But it's kind of hard to have like a flow in 6/8 because yes, 6/8 is very different from like a 4/4 time signature, and trying to fit in words and also have a like catchy rhythm to go with it. It's hard. So
It's like I'm falling through the floor.
I don't know how much I want to go into it because I don't think it would be fair to the person that I'm talking about. But I guess the story is, I think we ended on good terms. I'm still supportive of her. I've been like seeing her stories sometimes, and it just seems like she's doing very well in life, and I'm super proud of her, and I'm so excited. And in the small chance that you're watching this, I hope that you're doing well. I know that you're gonna do amazing things. I just hope for the best for you. And yeah, so we ended on good terms, I think. I'm not sure. It was a very complicated situation, and you know, even till this day, I'm not really sure what the actual meaning behind her reasonings for breaking up. And I think it's really just a growth thing. Being in relationships, growth looks different in many ways, you know, versus being single. There's a lot of that growth being a single person in this world. There's just so many things that you could do when you're single that you couldn't do in a relationship. There's no other person. That's at least what she said to me. And I think she just really wants to grow by herself. That feeling hurts a lot because we've been dating for 2 years, which is a very long time. You know, the whole thing is about growth, right? And I should have wrote a song about that, and I haven't really thought about it until recently. It's all about growth, right? That's all. I would like to say that is like the big topic of why we broke up. And I want to say it was mutual. I really wanted to stay with her. I knew that deep down inside, we would be better off separate as well, even though I didn't want to admit that. Because losing someone that you love so much, it's hard to let that go. In the end, there's so much beauty to it. It's kind of crazy because I'm gonna write this in a song, but I almost love her more after the breakup than I was in the relationship. And that's kind of like the beauty in it. And I was talking to a friend and he kind of brought that up to me. Like I think that's totally normal. And when you're with someone for 2 years and then you lose them, right? Even though like she's not dead or anything, but when you lose them and you're not in contact with them, you notice how much that person meant to you in your life. And that's one of the biggest regrets. Like, I don't want to say like my love for her was diminishing or anything over time in our relationship. I felt like it was getting stronger, but man, when you lose that person in your life, you just notice how much you love them. And that's one of the biggest things. Moving on, I can't have the mindset of reworking it out because that's just an unhealthy mindset. And even though I really want to, and I'm like so hopeful, and I wish from the bottom of my heart, somehow down the road, like I said before, growth can look different in so many ways. And I think our biggest issue that we didn't really communicate that, even in a relationship, because all the time people are growing, right? And figuring out how to grow as individuals together, if that makes sense, is very important in a relationship. That's really all I'm gonna say. I mean, I might cut all this out. I just want you guys to know that it ended on good terms. I'm still obviously so hurt. In my opinion, I think we could have worked it out. There's just so much I could do on my end where I just know that no, she doesn't really want to, which is totally okay, right? I can't force that upon anyone, and that's her decision to make, and I have to respect that. She wants to grow as an individual. I have to respect that. Being in a relationship with her, or being in any relationship, right? You want the best for that person. You know, I've been with her for 2 years, just seeing the amount of growth that she's done, especially when she went to college, is just extraordinary. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I've always had that, and I've always seen that in her. And I might have been a little too pushy at some points because I knew that she could reach the sky and really just hit that milestone that she wants to, right? I just knew that she could. Just over time, she would have that push. And I'm just so proud of her. That's really all I can say right now. And I'm so sad at the same time, and I wish, and I'm gonna write a song. That's gonna be the next song. I don't know, it's very hard. It's like 2 months in, and I still wish that I could be with that one person. Wishful thinking, right? There's just so many thoughts and feelings, and I think me rambling about this, not knowing what I'm trying to say, is a perfect example of this song and why I wrote it. Because in the chorus, I don't know how to deal with these emotions, and that's exactly how I feel, even till this day. Let me just start. So yes, that feeling of losing someone, you love them so much that you're willing to let them go, and you're willing to not contact them because that's not what they need, even though that's what I need. Yes, I care about her so much. In this type of instance, I always try to put her needs before mine, because my needs are just exactly what she doesn't need, if that makes sense. It kind of sucks, right? Because I would love to be still in contact with her. You can't, and that's just like, from my side, you just have to live with that feeling, and even though you really want it, you can't. You can't want it. You can't. And trying to let go of that feeling hurts so much, but you just need to, given the situation, right? You can't want it, right? And even though I want it so bad, and it makes me cry, it makes me sad every single day, and that's just something that I just need to work on. Originally, the song was going to be I Want to Move On, but then it got switched to Move On from a friend of mine, and she was like, you should make it not really blunt, this is I want to move on, right? You should make it more like to move on. What does that actually mean? And I guess that's really interpreted to you in your own way, right? Because yes, this is a song about me and how I feel about the whole breakup, how I'm dealing with it, kind of like a good exercise for me on dealing with it. I said in a short, and it was actually today, at the time when I posted it, this is really good, just jotting down my feelings into a song, because I love writing songs, but I love writing instrumental music and I love playing, and I thought, let's add this third factor in, singing, right? Adding lyrics in, creating a story, and I think that is just such a great way for me to really deal with this. To move on, at least for me, is I need to move on from these feelings for her, even though I don't want to, but I need to. And because it's only hurting me in the end, and even though I want to, let's just say work things out with her, I can't think like that, because it will only hurt me more in the end if things don't go the way I hoped it would go, right? I have to prepare myself for the worst. I need to move on with these feelings, though I don't want to. So yeah, let's talk about when I started the song. When we broke up, I was so sad, and normally that's how breakup happens, right? You get really sad, you get a little depressed, the world just stops. It just feels so slow. I don't know how to describe the feeling, and that's another thing. I'm just so bad with words and so bad with lyrics and writing lyrics, and you know, I'm not a singer as well, but really words in general, I'm just not really good at, and I'm horrible at describing how I'm feeling, even though I really want to. I just don't know how to explain it. Yeah, I was very sad. I didn't hate the world, because I feel like, you know, some people when they get broken up with, they're like, why is this happening? I hate the world, I hate everything, I hate life, etc. But really, I never had that feeling. I was mad at the situation, I was mad at why is this happening, but I never really hated the world. I was so happy with everything else. At the time, it was going really good. I was starting to make new friends. I'm playing in pit orchestras. I'm doing well in school. I feel like my life was just going so well. And it was still, you know, it was just like a slight, well, not a slight, it was a pretty big impact on me. Losing someone that you really, really love, even though you need to, because you want the best for them. And if they think that being together isn't the best, even though you hate that feeling so much, you just have to let them go. You have to show that you love them and you care for them. And yes, throughout the whole entire time, I still want the best. I want you guys to understand, I did try. That was the thing, I was scared that I didn't try hard enough to fight for our relationship. My personal opinion, I feel like I went above and beyond, and I tried all the things that I could have done. You know, it gets to a point where you can't be as pushy, and you don't want to come off as clingy or needy. You just can't come across that way, even though I probably did. You know, at some point, you just have to let them go, which really sucks. So anyways, breakup happens. We officially got broken up, no contact. We haven't been messaging each other at all, which, gosh, it hurts. At the time that I recorded this, it's been like a month and a half of like just no contact. We haven't even said hi in person, we haven't texted. Even on like social media, I react to a couple of her things, especially like when her close family members post about her, and you know, she's doing so well, and I'm just so proud of her. You know, that feeling kind of sucks, because I always get thoughts like, was I holding her back from her true potential? Even though in the relationship, I just wanted her to be the best, because I knew, I said this before, I saw that in her, and I just knew that she was the best 24/7, right? But I just knew that she could be at like another level of like incredibleness, and was I holding her back from that? Which kind of sucks, because in relationships, right, you want to build each other, you want to help each other grow into the best versions of themselves. And yeah, she's doing amazing things right now. I feel like she's unstoppable. She could do anything right now, and I'm just so happy for her. It makes me so sad. I feel like maybe I held her back in a way, and you know, so many song ideas. Like, that's the thing about like breakups. Oh my gosh, you just feel all of your feels, and you get so emotional. You get angry at the dumbest little things, and and you just really feel all of the emotions. I am just so tied with music, and it's such a great way to express my emotions is with music. I'm just so excited with all the music ahead of me, and what I'm going to write. And really, I should be thanking her, because she made such a strong and bold and very scary choice that I think not a lot of people could have made. Yeah, she made such a hard choice. I have to respect that. Like, seriously, if I was in her situation and you knew all the context, it was such a hard choice. And I feel so bad for her that she even had to make that choice. But I'm glad that she did, because like, she made the right choice. Even though it sucks saying that out loud, she did. 100% she did. And it's amazing to see her excel in life. So proud of her, and I know she's gonna do great things. So enough of that, let's go into the lyrics, I guess into the song process. And now you kind of know the context of the song, and I think I said this before, but me rambling and not really having a clear point is a great example of this song. In the peak of the song, when I was writing the song, I really didn't know how to start. I like to think of myself as a really good instrumentalist, because I am playing the violin for 13 years. I'm pretty good at like writing backing tracks. I feel like, you know, obviously there's room for improvement, but that's what I started off with first, something that I'm comfortable with. And I really wanted it to be really emotional. Like when anyone hears it, even when they're in a healthy, happy relationship with someone, that they still feel sad and really sentimental, and they're really like feeling the feels. And that's really what I wanted to capture with the backing track. And then obviously when you add the vocals, it will add that extra layer of emotional impact. As a violinist, when I was really sad and I was crying a lot for a week, maybe even two, really sad obviously, and losing someone because you have to lose them because you love them so much, right? And it's just that thought, like a very sad thought. And like the whole, obviously being broken up with is also a very sad aspect in the relationship, but I felt like we were so strong and we were getting there at the next level. I think in a different universe, maybe we did work on that, but I think it really needed to happen for both of us. Even though it's so hard to admit for me, I knew that it had to happen at some point. She even brought this up during the breakup. I think we both just got really comfortable, at least I think I did, towards the end. Yeah, I guess I wasn't really motivated as I used to be. And you know, after the breakup, I've been so motivated to just try different things, put myself out there, get out of my comfort zone. Personally, I've seen so much growth, and I feel like I'm doing a lot better than I was in the relationship. That's not saying that she held me back in any way, because she didn't. It was just a personal thing that I just didn't really discover, and she kind of helped me discover it again. You know, that ambition that I kind of lost over time. Thank you for that push. I needed to feel like this. This is such a pivotal moment in my life to grow as a human and to grow into the person I want to be. Let's get into the creation of the music. When you get sad, right, you usually resort to things that make you happy or maybe makes you less sad. I explained this when I was doing TikTok lives. I never really experienced heartbreak before to be emotionally attached to my lovely instrument. I've just never had that level emotional connection with my instrument. Like obviously I love my instrument, I love playing it, but you know, it's something that I've been playing it for such a long time. Sometimes you also lose that connection with your instrument because you're just playing it because you've just been playing it for a long time and you're good at it, right? Having different moments in your life where you're just like, whoa, this is why I play the violin, right? This is why I play it every single day. You just have those resets, which is so good. That was definitely a big reset for me, and I've never grown so much closer to my instrument. Whenever I play, I just get so emotionally attached to my violin, and I hope that emotion shows out in my playing. You know, when I was younger, I had a grandparent die. I never was sad. Obviously, I was sad, like death is death, but I never really got sad. I never had lost a pet before where I got emotionally attached to that thing and then it dies. I've just never really felt sad at the heartbreak level, if that makes sense. This is my first heartbreak ever in my whole entire life, and I'm experiencing it as a 20-year-old. 2 years, such a long time, and then having to do what needs to be done even though you don't want it to, it sucks. And especially in the process, you have to lose that person. I was just really improvising on my violin, just like playing different things like... You just play random things. You play what your heart wants you to play. When I was playing, this melody just like popped out. That melody, I loved it so much. It just really spoke out to me, and I wanted to create a song with that melody. And I guess I should say this, if you're either watching this before or after, you can really watch it at any point, but I mean, if you've listened to the song already, then you know what that is. But if you haven't, go listen to the song. I think it's amazing, one of my best piece of work yet, and I'm so excited to release more music that also has me singing on it. Yeah, that melody really spoke out to me. That little idea sparked into so many cooler ideas in the song. I was learning 4-part voice writing in my musicianship class, and I thought, oh, this is a great way to practice that. Let's add 3 other violin parts to it and really make it so sentimental and make it sad, make it's longing something, and you know, which I'm longing for her, right? And I really wanted to capture those feelings into that 16 measure intro in that, and I hope it did. I hope whenever people listen to that, they feel sad, but also hopeful, you know? From that little idea, it was so hard because I remember sitting on my couch at home, because a big part of writing this was when I was home in my hometown for winter break. And the hardest thing about it was figuring out the chord structure and the progression of the chords. I just like, what is happening here? It took me a long time to write that, and maybe I have my notes and I'll show it on the screen of like the process of it, but I was just like so confused because I'm just not there yet. I'm like a single note instrument. Like I can play chords on the violin, but I'm no like pianist or guitarist, you know, who plays chords every single day, and they kind of have the ear for that. And like I did the voice part writing out notes that I thought would sound good with it, and not really thinking about, okay, this is this chord, this is where that's gonna lie, writing the 3 other violin parts off of that. I just kind of wrote one line and then another line. I would go back after I've written one line, see if it sounds good, and then I would add you know, another line to it until I got to 4 parts. And then I had to figure out, okay, what is happening here? Where is the chords actually lying, so I can extend the song. Because I want it to be consistent, obviously. That to be the first chords, and then during the chorus, it would be different. Figuring out the actual chords of the song took a long time. Sat down for like a couple hours, and then I was like, I don't know what's happening. You know, I thought about like the harmonic function, where each chord wants to go. I was like writing each individual note out and saying, okay, this is like an E, B, G sharp. Okay, what chord is that? Okay, E major chord. But I finally got it, and I finally figured it out. Then I added different MIDI. I really wanted to do live instruments. It was kind of difficult because I don't have the best piano at home, but I wanted there to be piano in it because I feel like most breakup songs is either guitar or piano, and I didn't have a guitar, so I just fell to piano. And I used my MIDI keyboard over here to play the stuff. Really like the drums and the piano. I just love making backing tracks, and making that piano part was so much fun. Really simple. It's just like chords. I'm no pianist, and I'm like a violinist, so I guess the interesting parts is probably the violin part because that's just what I'm used to. Writing the backing track was really fun, and I remember it only took me like a couple days to write out the whole thing, and then I knew the hard part was gonna come in. Also, like making the backing track, you know, when you produce music, one of the fun parts about it is like finding these sounds, making it work with the song. and I have to record some footage, so when I play a certain sound, you'll hear it. But you know, you just like kind of search on the thousands of sounds that is on Logic Pro. I use Logic Pro as my DAW. It's just something that I'm really comfortable with. I know there are other DAWs, but I'm just really comfortable with Logic Pro, and I like it a lot. Finding those sounds and just making it work, I did all that. Another important thing, I wanted to do everything by myself. Like, I want to write every single part. I want to play all the parts, even if it's on MIDI, and it's kind of cheating because, like, you know, there's some like cheats you can do with MIDI, and if you know, right? If you ever dealt with MIDI, practically playing any instrument, is it gonna sound good? Probably not. It gets the job done. So like, I use piano as MIDI, I use the bass as MIDI, and some other like pretty cool sound effects you use as MIDI. Usually what I do is I play all the parts because I just love doing that. And my next album, I'm gonna share a little bit. So if you're watching this far in, next album, I really want to do a lot of collaboration work with different musicians at my school and then combine it into an album. I think that'd be so cool. Previously, I just wanted to do everything by myself, especially for this one, because this is a breakup song. I want to show really to myself that I can do it. Like, I can do everything and make it sound somewhat decent. And, you know, I'll get to like the mixing and mastering, because, you know, that's a whole nother level of music right there. Because you can be a really good musician and like play stuff, but like, you gotta mix and master it so it sounds good as a recording, and it sounds whole, and it sounds full, and it sounds like you would hear it on a radio or something like that. Yeah, writing the backing track was a lot of fun after figuring out the chord issue. But after the backing track, I knew that I had to write lyrics for it. I remember sitting at my dining room table, and I actually wrote the lyrics in like 10 minutes. There's so many versions, and I wish that I kept that note, because I write all my lyrics on my notes. It like 10 minutes to write out all the lyrics that I wanted to. As I talked before, writing the lyrics is such a hard part for me. If you would ask me to write lyrics, I'd probably ask you to ask someone else, because I'm just terrible at writing lyrics. Especially adding figurative language and making it more entertaining, and not, this is a dog, I love my dog, this is such a cool dog. I asked my friend, and she's amazing. She really like helped me a lot through this song. She helped me with the lyrics and making it more metaphorical and adding just really figurative language to make it more interesting when you're listening to it. I really liked it. I really liked the pre-chorus, especially like telling myself to move on even though the world is keeping me tied to you. Just that like, oh, the world is keeping you tied to her. That creates such a great image in your head, and you're like, oh, whoa, that's how he's feeling. I think one of the things that I didn't really like was the lyrics. And it was probably because I only took 10 minutes to write them, and then she added, you know, figurative language to make it sound better. I came back from winter break, I still had those lyrics, and I came back in like January 8th or something. I spent like 4 days changing the lyrics over that time because I just didn't like it. It was nothing that she did, because she did amazing. She made it more alive and more just entertaining to listen to. The lyrics and the message that I was sending across just wasn't feeling it, because, you know, over time, your whole mentality changes about the whole situation, the way you're thinking of it. And gosh, I've like gone through the whole 5 stages of is it grief or whatever, you know, where like you're sad, then you get angry about it. I haven't really got to that acceptance part yet. No, I feel like I have. That's what makes it sad, is because I have accepted it and I'm trying to accept it. Maybe I'm not there yet. Yeah, I'm probably not there yet, but I'm like trying to get to that. I'm just trying to accept how it is, even though that makes me so sad. But you have to, right? You have to accept it, because you don't want to get hurt in the future. I like changing lyrics because, you know, over time, you think differently. Your mentality changes about the whole situation. The most amount of changes were the verses and the choruses, because especially the chorus, I just didn't like how it sounded, because it just really sounded very stale. Throughout the whole piece, I listened to it. I had the verse, I had the pre-choruses down, I had the choruses down, and then when I listened to it, it just sounded like one long verse. It just didn't have like any variation to it with my vocals. So I wanted to like spice things up a little bit, and I wanted to try to go really out of my comfort zone on singing. And I don't know like the term, so sorry vocalists if you're listening to this, I just don't know the term when you're, maybe it's called your throat voice, but you don't want it to sound like a throat voice, because you have your like, what, chest voice, throat voice, and head voice. I know there's like a fourth one, I don't know. But I wanted to use like a different range in my in my vocals. So I thought, choruses. When I was rewriting the lyrics, when I got back, I just improvised, really. Like I played the backing track and I just like let my heart guide me where I want to go. And even like the vocal range and, how it is right now, that's through the whole process of exploring, writing new lyrics, as well as really like just trying different melodies and like trying different ranges that I felt comfortable with my voice. And that's where it kind of led to. That was the biggest change. And then, I was like getting to the final point and I really wanted to aim for January 18th to mark the 2 month since our breakup. It's a breakup song, so it really includes two people, the person that got broken up with and the person that broke up. The choruses was definitely the most amount of change since day one of lyrics, how it sounds now. And then I got to that process where like, okay, I'm finishing this song. We're about like a month and a half into writing the song. I wanted other people to listen to it. When I mean like other people, like I shared it to 8 people and some people gave me really helpful advice. One of the things that was actually my brother, he helped me a lot, was the message. Because at the time it was so contradictory, which at the same time, like I kind of argued, that's kind of like the point of the song because I just don't really know how to feel. I'm happy that it's happening, but I'm so sad that it's happening. I'm so mad at her, also very grateful for her. It's just like, just the opposite feeling. I love her. I wouldn't use hate. It was kind of like the point. It was like very contradictory. But like I get his point because he was saying to me, you're wanting her, but you're also not wanting her. Like pick one. That kind of like stuck out to me because like also like in life, I'm writing this song because it's how I feel. Yes, I still do feel that way. Like I really want her, but I can't want her. I can't need that. Well, I want it, but I can't need it, if that makes sense. Because it's healthy, right? I just can't be heartbroken again, and I can't be hopeful, even though I really want to be. Just think that we're probably never gonna get back together. And that's just that. Even though like, God, I would want to so bad, I would do anything. And God, that makes me sound so desperate. So my brother explained that to me and I was like, you know what, you're right. He also told me I'm being way too hard on myself because I was really thinking like, oh my gosh, I could have been better. I could have done this differently. My brother, he was the first person to say that to me, like, you're just being way too hard on yourself. No one did anything wrong. It's just going on your different paths. There's nothing wrong with that. Once that reassurance gets lost, like a boxing match between me and me, it's not even her. All these thoughts and negativity is really about me, and like I wanted to put all that blame on her. It took me a second to realize like, no, all of it's not really her fault. But then it went the other way where I'm like blaming everything on me, and like, oh my gosh, I'm such a horrible person. Like I feel like I wasn't good enough in the relationship and that's why we broke up. And all these like negative thoughts and really like depressing thoughts really took over. And my brother was like, you shouldn't feel that way. You're being way too hard on yourself. You just don't need to feel like that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't. I tried everything that I could have. I was loyal to her for 2 years. I just did nothing but love her and support her throughout those 2 years. Even till this day, I'm still hard on myself. That's a thing that happens. I guess you pour all these negative thoughts on you and you're just making life harder because I guess that's what's easier, but it's not. And you don't mean to, but it just happens, right? That was a big thing. And then I rewrote the lyrics to really make it sound like I just need to move on. Nothing against her or anything. As I said before, countless times, I would love to get back together and I would love to rework things out. I can't have that mindset. Let's say she gets with somebody else down the road, or we just never rekindle what we had, then I'm just like repeating the whole cycle again. And I can't have that. So the song is based off of that, and that's why I kind of changed the song, because originally the song was going to be Change is Good, but I was still hoping like, oh yeah, change is good, and then let's get back together because we changed so much as humans. And I'm like, okay, that's not really healthy. I'm still having that mindset of getting back together. I can't have that. And then it was Dear Love, because I've written 2 songs for her. It's Never Too Late, and then My Love, in my first EP that I released. So I wanted My Love and then, the Dear Love to be kind of like a segue, because it was really like a letter to her and like also to me, like how I'm feeling, and then this is how I'm feeling. Let's send that message to her, right? So it was going to be Dear Love, but then I'm like, I can't do that title. Like that's, because like obviously I still love her, right? But I can't have, it's just that same mindset thing, like, right? I think of her as my love still, and like that's not true, even though I still love her, but we broke up. So I can't think like that anymore. I didn't do that song title, and then I was like, okay, I want to move on because I do. I want to not feel like this. So it was I want to move on, and then I think I told you earlier that I texted my friend and they were like, oh, you should just remove the I want and then make it to move on, to make it more as like an interpretation for people who are listening. So I was like, that's a great song title, To Move On, because like what the heck, it's like to be or not to be, to move on or to not to move on. So yeah, that's the song title. After changing the lyrics, I sent it out to people, and I feel so bad, and I appreciate all the people who really listened to all of it and gave me really great feedback. I thank you guys so much. I think I had like 100% rate of like taking everything that they said and like doing those adjustments to the song. At the end of the day, I can make the final decisions, but it was really helpful getting all those great feedback and suggestions about the song, and that was really, really helpful. Moving on with the, also another thing, I felt like I was rushing the process because I really wanted it to be released on January 18th. I feel like I was rushing it, and I didn't want it to be rushed. I wanted it to be my best piece of work. As an artist, I feel like if you were not given a deadline, you would just work on it. I don't think you'll ever be satisfied. Like when you're an artist, you'll just never be satisfied because there will always be something that you're just like, I want to rework that, and then I'm just gonna re-record it until it gets perfect, right? There's like a balancing, right? Because I wanted it to be released by a certain date, but it felt really rushed, and I didn't want it to feel that way at all. I wanted to make sure that I spent the time that it needed to be spent on and make sure that it sounds my high quality best work. When I got back from Seattle, January 8th through like maybe January 15th, I spent so much time, probably 5 hours a day on the song. And then I, gave my ears some time to rest, because that's also important, because if you listen to the song over and over and over and over, that gets tiring for your ears and you need like a reset. Okay, I'm noticing this now. I don't like that. Oh, I really like this. I'm gonna keep that for sure. When you're recording, it's so hard because you're like, do I like it right now? Or am I gonna hate this in the future? Oh, I hate this right now, but am I gonna like it in the future? It's just so hard, and you never really know. I made a post about it, but it took me more than 57 takes, because I think the picture says 57 takes, and I was like really satisfied with that. But then when I listened back to it, I was like, I hate this. I wanna re-record it. And I think I probably re-recorded like 100 times, which is so much, and probably even more than that. Writing it was so much fun, and I wrote the backing track. That was fun, and then I started adding lyrics, and then I started adding the violin part. It just sounds so good. I really like how it sounded. Just being really creative, it's just like counterpoint, right? When the phrase finishes, there's counterpoint. To fill in that space, keep it like flowy. Playing the violin on that, and also hearing me sing was just so magical, because I'm like, okay, I have one part of me singing my heart out, and then I have another part of me also playing my heart out. It was just so fun, and I hope you guys feel that emotion and that powerfulness in the song. I really wanted the pre-chorus to feel a little loopy. I want to move on, but the world is keeping me tied to you. I want to fight it. Oh, this was actually the friend that helped me rewrite the lyrics. When you say, I want to fight it, you should say, no, I don't, because that's like the contradictory thing. Like, I want to fight it, I want to resist it, but like at the same time, I don't want that. She was like, oh, you should have like a second track where you're saying, no, I don't, change the pan of it. So it's like a 360, right? I was like, oh, that's genius. I'm gonna do that. That's where that part came in. And then I feel like there should be pitsing, because I love pitsing and the sound of pitsing on a violin. So I wanted to add that in the pre-chorus. And I think that did a really good job in encapsulating that vision that I had of like, your head is spinning like crazy, you don't know what to do. And then the chorus comes out where there's like a pause, and then the violin comes in, do 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 do, and I don't know how to deal with these emotions, right? And just like such a powerful moment. Having those little pause moments is so powerful, I feel like, and I really wanted that. And originally, there wasn't going to be any fill in there. Originally there was going to be like a drum fill. We recorded the drum part, and then I forgot to add it, so I just added a violin part that did that. And originally there was going to be voicemails of her. I had my sister text her to see if that was allowed, because I didn't want to like invade her privacy or like not ask her permission to do that. But then she said no. Obviously, well, not obviously. I was hoping that she would say yes, but yeah, she said no. I had to remove those parts out. And originally the voicemail part was going to be in the silence, and then I would play. And that made me so sad. One, because it was such a powerful moment in there, and I wish it was in there. I wanted to like record me kind of saying the line, making it sound like her, but then it would still sound like her, and that, yeah, it like defeats the purpose. And then maybe my sister brought up like, oh, you could ask like maybe one of your girl common friends and like ask them to record what she's saying and then have that in there. I was like, And then, you know, it brings back to the part where like I want to do everything myself. I don't want to have other people on the song. So I just took it out and then I added that violin part. But oh my gosh, I got so teary-eyed because I was like looking back at the voicemails, and this actually was an idea all the way back in winter break. So like 2 weeks before I asked for her permission. And then I was like, what if I like added her voicemails? Because I think Tyler, the Creator, there's one song that uses the voicemail of his mom. Da 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 da. That song, I think there's a voicemail of his mom basically saying like, don't be mad at your father, be mad at me, or something like that. I was like, oh, that's such a powerful moment because like it sounds like a voicemail, which is so cool. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that on my song. It was gonna be her voicemails saying, you know, I love you, please pick up the phone, things like that, please text me back. And it's gonna be so powerful. I cried like because I haven't heard her voice in such a long time. I don't know if she feels the same way. You know, that's another thing. Sometimes I spend all my day just thinking like, oh, what is she thinking right now? You know, and that's also so unhealthy and I can't think like that. When I heard her voice, I just got so emotional because like I missed hearing her voice. I cried for like 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes when I heard that voicemail. And then especially when it was added into the song, it was that context, right? Because it's such a powerful, that's when we were together and now we're not. It was such a powerful moment, and I cried. The amount of times I cried writing this song is unreal. I'm kind of embarrassed sharing that. I mean, I feel like it's kind of expected to cry when you're writing a breakup song. So I cried a lot during this. Yeah, adding the violin part, I was about to add the voicemail, but yeah, the pitching is such a powerful moment. And like writing that bridge section where it sounds it like sounds the same, it fits within the song, but it also sounds completely different from the song. That was such a powerful, I wanted that to be so similar to the beginning. I almost wanted it to be like an extended version of that, but different. I think it encapsulated that feeling a lot. Because every single time I listen to that, I just get a little teary-eyed. Yeah, I'm just so excited. And oh, harmonies. I added harmonies and I'm so bad at singing. So I know what a harmony is. You're either singing a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, really whatever harmony you want. It's not like the pitch of the melody because that would just be in unison. So like adding different harmonies, it could even be like a minor second and that would sound really cool but very dissonant. I added harmonies and I don't think it sounds good. I can hear it in my head and then I try to sing it, but I think it could be better and that's something that I just have to improve on in the future. But writing harmonies was really fun, took a lot of time. And then mixing and mastering. Mixing takes so long. And when I say like I spent 5 hours a day working on the song, sometimes I spend like 3 hours mixing every single day and like 2 hours re-recording or recording new parts. Mixing takes so much time because you have to go track by track, EQ everything, add the effects in, mix it, like make sure that the levels are either not too loud or too quiet, and make sure everything is balanced because having a good balanced mix is super impactful because you don't want to hear the bass overpowering the kick of a drum or like overpowering the lyrics. You want it to be balanced, and I'm kind of bad at it. You need a really good ear and you need to re-listen to it so many times. You know, that's something that I have to work on too because I'm not like a professional or anything. Like this is my setup right here. Like if you can see that in the back, that's my setup. It's not like a fancy studio. Basically this whole corner was my studio. It's not that cool. And I'm not saying you need fancy gear and you need a $20,000 studio to record really good music. Definitely helps. You could easily do that same quality, maybe not the same quality, but like pretty close on like this setup right here. Mixing and mastering took forever. I'm so glad it's done and now I'll have to do it in the future. That's the song. If you're listening to this, you're like super impacted by this, please share it. Please share this song, share this video. This almost turned into like a counseling session with me and only me because there's no one else in the room and you're just like hearing me talk. And there's probably moments and they're like, oh yeah, you're so right about that, or like, no, you can't think like that. Like you have to keep on pushing through. But yeah, if you feel so inclined to like share this song, please do. That would mean the world to me, and I really appreciate that. I spent a lot of time on it and it means a lot to me. It's a breakup song and I still care for that person that I broke up with so much. She's doing amazing things. I'm so proud of her. Still gonna have more songs about her. I have so many more ideas. We're gonna be working on the album next. All these really, really cool ideas. So closing thoughts. Really, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not really sure how this video is gonna turn out, how long it's gonna be, or if I'm gonna cut basically all the parts where I talk about the relationship out. But I do appreciate you listening, watching this video. And if you're watching this, you're going through a breakup right now, know that it's only gonna get better from here. I know it's hard to think like that and it's easier said than done. Like, take it from me, I feel like really not at the peak anymore of like the sadness. Definitely went through that peak very recently. Keep on doing what you love, whatever that is. Build new healthy habits. Go talk to new people, experience life, go on walks, do anything to really keep your mind off of that person. I do believe, and she even believes too, like breaks are so good for relationships. Not breaks, but like breakups. Because she didn't really believe in breaks, which I get it. Like, if you're needing to go on a break, then just break up, right? And then if you get back together, then like, I guess that time that you're away is a break. The concept of a break is, oh, you're still somewhat exclusive to that person because you're on a break, so you're not really dating any other people. But like, breakup, you're not obligated to that person in any way, shape, or form. Like, I could be dating other women right now or different people in my life. I'm like a free man. I don't mean it like that. And I think, so when I say when there's a person out there, it might be them or it might not be them. Just know that there is a person out there that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, and it's gonna be amazing and beautiful. And whatever you're wanting the relationship to look like, you're gonna meet that person who wants the exact same thing. You know, I think over time I'll lose that, which is so sad to think about. Eventually, if nothing happens between us, I'll lose that feeling, because that's just how breakups work, right? You're really feeling it and you're like really wanting, depending on the situation, like you're really wanting to get back with them. And then, you know, over time, if nothing happens, you lose that feeling, you go on your way from there, right? But yeah, just know that you're gonna get through it. I'm kind of saying this to you, and that means literally you, like you watching this video, but also me, future me, watching this video back. This documentary is mainly for me, so I can remember this in 20 years. And I might not even post this publicly because it's very vulnerable, and I feel like I'm just like talking my head off right now, and you're like, oh my gosh. I didn't know I was clicking on this video to watch Quinton have like a therapy session by himself. Also, no, I just want to leave this last little message for the person that I'm no longer with. I guess this is a message to you. I'm like getting nervous, even though like you're not even in front of me. But yeah, I hope you're doing well. And like, I say that, but I know that you're doing well and you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing things, and I'm just so happy for you. Sometimes I get jealous because you're just growing so much. Sometimes I compare that to my life. Gosh, I feel like I'm just doing the same thing every single day. You kind of even said that to me a little bit, but like, I think that's a good thing. I found a routine that I'm happy with, and I'm changing my routine a little bit to talk to more people and just be social. And because I think that's the thing that I was struggling with, is just the social aspect of my life. The breakup really helped with that. So I guess you're right about that. Yeah, you're doing great. It's just so exciting to see how you're gonna grow and to see the person that you're becoming. Just know that I'm cheering you on, and I will always cheer you on. God. Yeah, I just miss you so much. And I know you feel the same way. And I know you're incredibly stubborn and you want to prove a point. I'm glad that you are stubborn, because that is one of the best qualities of you. Yeah, you're just doing so great. You're doing amazing things. I feel like my mind just shuts off whenever I talk about it. You know, even like when the breakup happened, and like even when we had to talk in person before we officially broke up, it's like my brain just stops. And I think it's just like, I'm just so fascinated and just like so amazed of you that I'm just unlost of words. Just so happy to watch and see from the sidelines of what you're becoming, and just seeing so much growth in you. You know, like you said, if it works out, it works out. And that's such simple words, but like, oh my gosh, you're really just leaving it up to fate. But like, I think right now, I just want to be single as well. And I built this routine where, like, as much as I would love to be in a relationship with you and to like, grow with you and to grow as individuals, like I thought we could, and that's what I've been trying to advocate. So you're just really sticking with what you're feeling, and I respect that 100%. Yeah, you're doing everything right, I feel like, and I hope you feel that way too. I hope that you feel like you made the right decision, because I think you did. If we ever find our way, we find our way. Probably cut all that out. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're past an hour. I've literally been sitting in the chair for like, you can see the sun out, sort of, and now it's like pitch black. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this documentary, and please, if you haven't listened to it already, it's down in the description. Go on my Spotify, go on my Apple Music, go check it out. And follow me on all social media platforms. That really means a lot to me, and it just shows that I should keep on doing this. And yeah, go tell someone that you love them. I think that's so important, and I don't think we say that enough to the people that we really care about in our lives. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this. Have a great rest of your day, and stay sharp.
I wanted to say thank you for turning me to who I am today. I will always love you, and I'll always be there for you. And I finally understand that I need to move on from you. I wanted there to be more, but you hurt me in the end.